There are legends, and then there are forces of nature. Ozzy Osbourne was both. A man who defied the odds, broke every rule in the book, and reshaped the sound of rock and metal for generations. Now, following his peaceful passing on July 22, 2025, at the age of 76, the world stands still to pay its final respects. The Godfather of Heavy Metal, the unforgettable frontman of Black Sabbath, and a solo icon whose influence spans across decades and genres, is gone, but his legacy will roar on forever. Ozzy died surrounded by love at his home in Buckinghamshire, England, with his wife Sharon Osbourne and their children by his side. After a long and public battle with Parkinson's disease and multiple spinal complications, his body may have weakened, but his spirit remained as fierce and unrelenting as ever. His final moments, described by family as peaceful and dignified, closed a life lived entirely on his own terms. But as the mourning begins, so too do the preparations for a farewell as monumental as the man himself. According to official statements from the Osbourne family, Ozzy's funeral will take place in 2 stages, reflecting both his public impact and his private heart. First will be a private funeral ceremony, to be held quietly in the days ahead. This intimate gathering will be attended only by immediate family, close friends, and longtime collaborators. No cameras, no press, just love. A deeply personal space for those who knew the man, not the myth, to grieve, reflect, and honor his memory in silence. But for the millions who loved Ozzy from afar, who screamed his lyrics in stadiums and tattooed his face on their skin, a grand public celebration is being prepared. And fittingly, it will be held in the city where his journey began, Birmingham. The very soil where Black Sabbath was born will now host the final curtain call for its most famous son. While the exact date has not yet been announced, sources close to the family say the event will be enormous, emotional, and unforgettable. Set to feature performances by a lineup of major artists, including rumored appearances from Youngblood, Slash, members of Metallica, and even a tribute set from surviving members of Black Sabbath. The public memorial will be a fusion of grief and glory, a sonic monument to a man who lived through music. Importantly, this event will not be mournful in nature. That was Ozzy's wish. He made it clear in interviews, long before his passing, that he didn't want his death to be a somber affair. "I don't want a *****ing boring funeral," he once joked. "Play something weird, make people laugh, celebrate the madness." His family has promised to respect that request. The Birmingham tribute will not be a funeral. It will be a celebration of life, loud and unapologetically wild, just like Ozzy himself. The last time fans saw him on stage was just weeks ago, during what would become his final concert, Back to the Beginning, held on July 5th at Villa Park, Birmingham. It was, in many ways, a miracle. Battling pain and immobility, Ozzy performed seated on a custom-built throne, a nod to both his frailty and his royal place in rock history. The show brought together the full, original lineup of Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward for one last sonic storm. Over 40,000 fans attended, some traveling across continents, to witness what would later be recognized as the legend's final act. The concert raised over £140 million for Parkinson's research in Birmingham Children's Hospital, turning his farewell into an act of generosity and hope. Just a day before his passing, Ozzy shared a haunting Instagram post, an image of the concert stage with the message "Back to the Beginning." The caption was simple but layered with meaning, a return to where it all started, a nod to closure, and a quiet goodbye. Fans now see it as a final gift, a poetic sign-off from a man who was never one for subtlety, but always knew how to make a moment. In the days that have followed, tributes have poured in from across the entertainment world. Paul McCartney called Ozzy a warrior, a showman, and a true original. Elton John wrote that he was one of the greatest frontmen who ever lived, while Lady Gaga, Gene Simmons, and Dave Grohl all posted emotional messages reflecting on his influence, his kindness, and his unmistakable presence. Even those who never met him feel as though they've lost a part of themselves, because that was Ozzy's gift. He made the world feel like one big, chaotic family. Beyond the music, beyond the headlines and the madness, Ozzy Osbourne was a father, a husband, a survivor, and an artist who poured his soul into every note. He gave the world more than just music. He gave it permission to be strange, to be loud, to be fearless. His life was messy, beautiful, and defiant. And now, his death will be honored not with silence, but with song. In Birmingham, preparations continue. Streets will be closed. Murals will be painted. Fans will gather in leather jackets, raising their horns to the sky, ready to sing one last time. And somewhere beyond the veil, Ozzy will be smiling, maybe even laughing, knowing that the world still hears his voice. So as the day of his public memorial approaches, one thing is certain. Ozzy Osbourne's funeral will not mark the end of an era. It will immortalize one. And though the man may be gone, the madness remains. Rest well, Ozzy. The throne is empty, but the kingdom will never fall. And perhaps that is Ozzy's greatest legacy. Not just the music, not just the rebellion, but the unity he inspired in misfits, dreamers, and outsiders across the world. In death, as in life, he brings people together, louder, prouder, and more fearless than before. As the final chords fade and the world says goodbye, one truth remains. You don't simply listen to Ozzy Osbourne. You feel him forever.